Finding you on TikTok too?
No, not so much. No.
We make you the TikTok title girl.
TikTok title girl. There's got to be one out there. Maybe I'm missing the boat on that, actually.
We're going to get with Amber and try to figure this out.
We'll have to come back and film some content for that. But
Welcome to another episode of the Southside Blueprint, your blueprint for buying, selling, and investing in real estate right here in Southern Maryland. My name's Aaron Kraling from the Southside Group Real Estate, and I'm joined by Billy Rabbit and Ashley Heirs from Lakeside Title. How's it going today, guys?
good.
Everything's good.
Cool. So we're going to be talking a little bit about title companies, what they do, and what to expect from an experience with them. And I guess the first question, Ashley.
The most exciting part of the real estate transaction.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
The part that nobody knows
title
what
company.
happened.
Well, exactly. So that's the first question.
They get all the credit.
What do you actually do at Title?
We're the man behind the curtain. Well, first of all, we're the escrow agent, so we hold all the money in the transaction usually, and we make sure that it transfers and gets dispersed to all the parties at closing.
The money people.
The money people, aside from the lender, of course. And,
they're not very fun.
And then we also, of course, review title, make sure that there's good marketable title being transferred from seller to buyer. We insure the transaction through lender's title insurance, owner's title insurance, and we actually go to closing. So we actually close the deal.
You guys are like the Carfax of homes.
Literally.
Carfax of homes. You guys should get like one of those. Like,
pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. You guys are like
Carfax.
the Carfax of homes.
We pull Carfax from the abstractors.
Right. Like, oh, did you know this house was in an accident about 2 years ago?
Literally.
Looks like somebody needs to slow down.
No, that'd be a good one.
I think you guys should get a really big box and like put it out inside the office.
Gosh.
That would be so cool. Like the house box.
We hope we don't find any foxes.
I don't know.
So this is obviously all relating to a real estate transaction. So you've got the real estate agent working with the client. They found the house that they like. Where do you guys actually get involved in the whole scenario?
So just after you ratify the contract, it's going to come right to us. And, sometimes we're holding the deposit. Sometimes we're not. Sometimes brokers do hold the deposits. But that's where things start. We talk with the buyers, get the deposit in, and then we go ahead and order title once you're ratified. We do not order, title without a ratified contract because we're going to insure things later. So
what is ordering title? What does that mean?
So we work with abstractors who, that's a product through our underwriters usually where they're actually going 60 years back on the property and obtaining the full chain of title. So that's anything recorded on the property, changing hands, deeds of trust, which are mortgages, those sort of things. So that's what we're ordering from the abstractor so we can get that in and review it and make sure there's nothing wrong or any defects so we can insure the new buyer.
So you do the boring part so the client doesn't have to worry about it.
Literally, yeah. So that's what the attorneys do. We help if there are issues. We work on the curatives is what they're called. So we have to cure those problems because we're giving insurance that there's not going to be a problem, right?
Right,
so if we find something, we have to cure it. It's like, if you buy a car and there's a dent in it, your insurer's not going to insure that, right? They know
what
about
happened.
it. So
yeah,
that's the big thing is title insurance. This is what people don't realize. It's for things that we don't know are there, right? That's what insurance is for. We want to find everything out we can before we go to closing so we don't have a claim later.
Almost kind of like similar to like a home warranty, right? So, I mean, they're warranting, hey, we think you're getting this house in this condition or whatever. And, 6 months from now when the HVAC goes out, you want to be protected or you want to have somebody to be able to.
But that's what our attorneys want to do is they're looking to see if there is an issue anywhere so that we don't have a problem later.
So what type of things are they looking for when they go back these 60 years in title or whatever? I mean, are they looking for like gaps or are they looking for?
So we're looking for, making sure that the correct parties even signed off on the previous deeds.
Sure.
Sadly, there are missing interest in deeds a lot of the time where the correct people weren't at closing or, looking for fraud, especially nowadays. Gosh, that's any reason to buy title insurance is fraud.
No doubt.
Because that's just the way of the world in the digital world nowadays. But, they're looking for that. Deeds of trust, making sure they're released. Unreleased mortgage are a very big thing because what happens when you pay a mortgage off? The mortgage company will send you, the homeowner, a release. And what do you know? You don't know what to do with that.
Right.
I wouldn't have known what to do with
Somebody
that.
comes
They want
knocking
you
on
to
your
go
door.
record it in county land records.
Right.
Who knows to do that, right? So that's happening a lot where we have unreleased mortgages. So we have to make sure that mortgage is actually closed out and paid, so there's no extra lien on the property later.
That wasn't junk mail? Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't junk mail. Well, probably was.
It sounds like there's a lot of different things that can happen in this whole transaction on the title side. What are some of the most interesting, maybe craziest things you've seen happen over your course?
Oh, gosh. Well, I mean, we've had transactions where, we're still working on them. They get drawn out for months and months and months, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel with things like, estates that weren't opened or closed properly, in the past, the wrong,
So the wrong people end up owning it versus what should be, or
even where people think they just, and maybe they are the correct heir to the property, whether it be land or a home or anything, but the correct channels weren't gone through to get there, right? Like the estate never conveyed property on through a deed or something like that. So we're looking to make sure that those things are happening.
Can you always come to a conclusion?
No, not always. Yeah, there have been uninsurable properties for sure.
So they just kind of sit forever? Or?
Well, maybe you take it to the good old guys up the street that'll do it for you now.
You can always find a guy, right?
Yeah, you can always find a guy.
Yeah,
good old boy.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 chance this has a title claim. Yeah, we'll insure it. No problem, good luck. No, I mean, there's been, I know we've had a lot of wild ones. We've had ones where the attorney back, 40, 50 years ago, put something wrong in a deed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so pretty much the property they thought got the property lines
legal descriptions.
Wrong. Yeah, legal descriptions were incorrect. And, you go back and you're like, you actually conveyed a property that goes right in the middle of a house. I've seen that before.
Definitely.
And these are found out at closing usually? Or
no, I mean, they're found hopefully before closing.
Hopefully your title professional is finding that and the attorneys are finding that.
We had one where we had to go bang on a door and find out there was 50 heirs to a property. So we would have had to have 50 people sign off on something.
I'll never forget that.
And luckily they had title insurance, so it protected the buyer to be able to move forward with purchasing a property instead of tracking down 50 people.
Halfway there.
Yeah. So I mean, there's lots of different ones. I mean, even one of our agents here is, had to do a title claim where, the property was conveyed incorrectly to somebody and, didn't sign off on it correctly. And so there was a title claim. And so, I mean, lots of different things for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, and I say this all the time, is like, it's not really a problem until it's a problem. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, you have title insurance for that reason, to protect you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like any insurance. You don't need it until you do.
Right, yeah. You don't buy car insurance to hope and pray that you're going to use it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's a one-time buy, but, sometimes people get title and funds, and then unfortunately, if they don't have a good lender, they'll say, oh, you don't need that. It is optional, cut costs, but then God forbid something happen, guess who they're going to come back to? That lender, not us, because we recommended insurance. So
no, for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's and I think we see it, and I don't know if this is specific, but I know we see it a lot is like for like tax sales and things like that. Those are very difficult to try to track down, because usually, let's face it, if somebody's not paying the taxes, it's probably likely a lot of reasons is, they're not getting the tax bill to the right person to pay it. So
that's a big thing, especially with land and tax sales, because
100%.
You have to prove that, the owner of the property was served appropriately from the courts. Well, there's no house there and door to knock on when there's land. So how do you know that they were appropriately served the documents and those sort of things?
Yeah, or quick claim deeds.
Quick claims.
Find all kinds of different things, and you think you have a transaction or whatever.
Yeah.
The other one too that we see quite a bit is like life estates and properties there where the properties are not being sold, or even I've seen it where an agent will go and list a property for sale, and only get one of the sellers to actually list the property. Didn't go actually into the deed, and we're under contract for only having one seller. So I mean, lots of different things. I mean, we see it almost on a daily basis where. Title's an interesting thing.
It is. It can get quite gnarly on the back end.
Yeah.
So like there sounds like there's a lot of different things that can happen. What surprises come up most at closing? Hopefully none. But what do you look at the most?
I mean, this isn't a title issue per se, but do you want to talk about the closings in general? Because we've had some fun
we know you're perfect. So what do other people do wrong?
I still have keys sitting on my desk from a closing last month where the seller signed. Buyer was supposed to be coming the same day, and just cold feet.
So now you own it.
They said, keep the deposit. I don't care. I'm not buying the house. So yeah. And I have a seller who just signed everything. I still have the keys sitting on my desk. Yeah. So
do you ever have to break up a fight?
No, thankfully.
Yeah.
No.
You could probably hold your own.
I mean, we have a lot of, divorces and things like that, but hopefully you can manage it You can get ahead of those things before you go to closing table and not set everybody down together.
Yeah, we say it all the time. I mean, buying and selling a house, there's a lot of emotions.
There's a lot of emotions.
And so, and there's certainly, I would say some vendors are good to work with, some maybe a little bit more challenging and things like that. And so there's certainly a lot of waiting to the very last second to get to closing, and that causes more stress and anxiety and things like that too, I'm sure.
Just this morning, I mean, we're walking into closing and our numbers are changing. I'm having to brief everybody of what's going on, but we're going to go ahead and get signing for the sake of time. But, I know my printer's going to go off in 2 seconds and everything's going to change. So, I mean, anything can happen. It's not over until it's over, for sure.
Yep. So what would you, what advice would you give anybody coming in, to make things go smoothly?
For an agent or for a consumer?
No, for a consumer buying a home.
Oh my gosh. Well, just, ask questions, do research. Not everybody even knows what title insurance is. So, I mean, we're always welcome to the conversation. Yeah. So, I mean, just having those conversations. Use your resources nowadays. I mean, ChatGPT will tell you a lot about title insurance if you want it to. But people just don't even know the prompt of what to ask, right? So, I mean, just doing diligence and relying on your professionals involved, No question's stupid, that's for sure. Yeah.
No, and there's so many different variables too. I mean, that's the challenge with it. And especially here, we end up seeing properties that very quickly you can get all the way down if you're doing, chain of title, you can get into the 1800s very quickly,
Oh yeah, the old hear ye.
Yeah, exactly. Right next to this big rock and this maple tree and this, this
the
oak
ground
tree.
rents of Baltimore.
Yeah, next to, Sir William's oak tree, next to the corner of the, the horse-drawn carriage path. And
homeowner will pay ground rent holder a bushel of oysters on the first of every month.
Exactly. Yeah. No chickens allowed in this covenant, So.
I had that question this morning. Is like a $1.3 million property in Annapolis. Hey, the covenants say there can't be goats, but we have goats. It's like, okay, well, but I think it's an obsolete covenant. Well, I don't know. Send it over. Let me take a peek. I mean, even the people who have been in the business forever say you can't know everything, and it changes.
Well,
everything I mean, legislation changes.
It does. Definitely changes. And that kind of puts me on a pivot. So with technology, you've been doing this for a little while.
Yeah.
So over the last several years, where have you seen things come from and where do you see things going as far as the title industry is concerned?
Oh gosh, I think the hottest topic nowadays is fraud, because we are just, we unfortunately get to hear all the big, bad, and the scaries from our underwriters. They pass on bulletins to us almost weekly.
Can you tell us about some of those? What angles they're coming from for these?
So really a lot of vacant land scams. I mean, that's huge nowadays. And, because there's nobody there, right? When you're going to walk a property to buy it and there's no home there.
Right.
How do you. So you have sellers acting like they are, or you have people acting like they are the sellers. They're getting fake IDs. They're doing all kinds of things. So we've had to move things into real ID verification, making sure that it's really that person.
I saw one the best. It was a guy had sent his ID over, and he's literally on a couch.
Yeah.
It was his MBA ID. It's literally a guy on a couch. I'm like, man, this is perfect. But I mean, now with AI talk, with the AI voice and everything like that.
I just got to see an example. This is wild. So this guy was pretending to be the seller, right? And so we have a new system now that's going to facial scan and everything. Well, he pulled up an AI and got a face going to look like the seller, and then he moved, and he was completely different skin color and everything when he turned, and it caught him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Technology is beautiful, but it's also terrible for fraud.
No, you're right. Yeah, but I mean, I think you guys have even shared a story where the new wife showed up to sign it on behalf of the ex-wife.
Oh yeah,
So,
and maybe they even looked a little bit alike. You really have to look at people's IDs at closing. Yeah, because you get moving quickly. Everybody's talking. You're just checking to make sure it's not expired, and then we really do have to stop and look and say, okay, is that really Aaron or is that Billy?
Right. Yeah.
So, because people are using fake stuff all over the place.
Yeah. What else? I mean, in regards to title claims or title fraud or whatever. I mean, what are you guys seeing? Still don't know what and I guess they'll find a title company that will do it or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of phishing scams where we have to be really diligent on our end not to respond to things if they even look remotely fishy, because what fraudsters are doing is they're writing us and they're phishing us to respond to them so they can steal our headshot. They can, take the owner of our companies and like whole email formatting and make it look like it's them. And then they'll go on and throw out fake wire instructions, change a few digits, and then, there goes the wire. Yeah. Right? So.
Evil genius.
Yeah, evil genius. I mean, it means we're spending a lot more time on the phone, just kind of coaching people because you don't know what you don't know. And so I'm like, hey, I'll never email this to you. Sure. So if you get an email, call me because I will never email it.
Well, and it's unfortunate, too, because now for the consumer, they end up having to pay more because there's all these extra layers of security to protect them.
Cybersecurity, everything. And, people do say, like the old timers will be like, well, I've never had to pay this in the past. Well, unfortunately, things were simpler. Right. Fortunately and unfortunately, things were simpler back then. And nowadays, we just have too much technology and fraudsters have gone wild.
Yeah, for real.
Or the deed scams, like after you buy a house and county land records in Maryland are wide open. So you're going to see some type of mailer where the average consumer does not know the difference. It looks like it's from the courthouse. Sure. Yeah. Hey, give me $200 for a copy of your deed. They'll send you a copy of your deed that I just made for you at closing, and anyone in the world can see.
So you're saying these purchases are public record?
Yes. County land records. Yeah, deeds are going on county land records.
Okay, so we've kind of gone over a little bit about how titles change over the years with technology and everything. Well, what can you tell us about Lakeside Title, the company you work for?
So Lakeside Title, we're a local company. We're based out of Maryland. We have offices in Virginia, Maryland, and then we have and Pennsylvania, and then we have the ability to handle closings in D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, some of West Virginia. Did we leave one out?
Some of West Virginia?
Some of West Virginia. Only because, honestly, people don't want to travel to us. They don't want to jump over the mountain.
All right.
No, I mean, technically.
We only go over this one mountain.
I say some of, because, for Pennsylvania, for example, we have an office in Westminster. Well, a lot of those agents, just like down here, are duly licensed for Pennsylvania and Maryland, just like we are a lot down here for Virginia or D.C. So, we try not to go too far into Pennsylvania because every county is so different and, it just starts to get far away. But, of course, can we handle it? Yeah, we certainly can. Like I did one in the Poconos for a good client's vacation home. Not our typical jurisdiction, but we could certainly handle it. Yeah. So, but that is what's unique about us, too, is, we can handle a lot of different areas where some title companies, are just more specialized to their local area. So that's something that's really neat. We have, all in-house attorneys. We have commercial attorneys. We have, again, the Virginia barred attorney who handles West Virginia, the Pennsylvania. That's kind of redundant, but.
Yeah. So it sounds like localized knowledge is really important.
Yeah. It's a one-stop shop where, some can only handle this or that. We can usually handle pretty much anything, within reason. As long as it's insurable. Gotcha.
So what advice would you give to anybody in Southern Maryland market, looking to take this path?
To work in title?
No. More on the consumer line, like when they're coming to purchase a home.
Just to always buy title insurance and not to sound salesy or gimmicky, but that's just the truth. I mean, we do see all the bad things that happen on our end with claims and all. And unfortunately, I mean, it can really rob you of all of the equity in your home if you don't buy insurance. I mean, a title policy will protect you and pay for your court fees, your legal fees.
And it's not mandatory like a car?
So technically, title insurance for the homeowner or the buyer is optional, but, it is not optional for the lender to purchase the lender's insurance. So, but that policy only protects them. Yeah. So here you're buying title insurance for your lender because you have to protect their interest in the property and in the transaction. But then you're not going to buy it for yourself. That's crazy. Why would you not protect yourself, for any future potential problems?
What's the cost on that generally? I know it's got to be different per property.
Yeah. So the loan policy, it is based off of purchase price and loan amount. So it's different on every property and each transaction.
But those fees are, they're mandated by the state of Maryland.
Yeah, they definitely are. And then, there's different types of coverage. There's enhanced coverage, which is only for a homeowner. If you're buying a piece of land, you don't have that option. You're only getting a basic policy because there's different coverages that you don't necessarily need either that are in a homeowner's policy. But then also, like if you're an LLC, you're not a natural person. You can only get a basic policy even if you're buying a property, a home. So it's interesting. It does change per the buyer too. So, but a regular family buying a home to live in, absolutely get an enhanced policy. That's a homeowner's policy.
And does that ever cause issues not being able to do the whole thing as an LLC?
To
then I guess enhance.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain features that you get by the enhanced policy.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, like we've had one before where there was right-of-way issues. Had there been only a basic policy on that property in the past, we wouldn't have been able to get it to closing because there was an easement that these folks had to go through. Well, a basic policy says a helicopter could drop you off at the house as long as you can get to it. Yeah. Whereas a homeowner's policy, you have to have, real passage to the property, like a driveway.
Yeah, what's the reason behind that?
Well, because it's a homeowner's policy that, someone living there, not versus, basic policies. It could just be land and that's
Gotcha.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not improvements on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
Amongst many other things, but. Okay,
cool. Ashley, well, if somebody wanted to get in contact with you, how would they do that?
Well, you could start by calling me. Now, Lakeside Title has a really good website. So if you just go to www.lakesidetitle.com, there's all kinds of good resources there. We're super tech forward at our company. Actually, our owner, Yvonne, she loves her techie. So you can get in and find my information amongst any of the
find
attorneys.
You on TikTok too?
No, not so much. No.
We make you the TikTok title girl.
TikTok title girl. There's got to be one out there. Maybe I'm missing the boat on that, actually.
We're going to get with Amber and try to figure this out.
We'll have to come back and film some content for that. But
I can see you now doing TikTok dances at the at the closing table now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. I'm in a lot of people's pictures, probably just my forehead when I'm down exciting.
So cool. So we'll go ahead and leave your info in the comment section down below. Yeah. And then, thanks guys for joining us on another episode of the Southside Blueprint. We'll see you next time.